Have you told yourself, I'm gonna go to sleep by 10 p.m. I'm gonna wake up at 8 a.m. to go to the gym. I'm actually gonna stick to my routines this week, only to completely ignore your own rules. Been there, done that. We're not doing that no more. This morning, I was gonna go to the gym. I haven't been in the past 3 days because the winter has been wintering. And the only thing in my head was like, I deserve to sleep. I'm tired, it's cold outside. I don't need to go today, I'll be fine. It's in that moment that I realized, I was like, wow, I am actually the hardest person to say no to. I need to start setting some boundaries with myself. And last year was a very emotional year for me. I went through a huge change in my life. I had to put a lot of faith in God out in the universe. I had to have a lot of faith in myself, and I had to set a lot of boundaries with people around me because a lot of people were needing my energy. I'm someone who loves to give, a huge heart, so it's very hard for me to say no. Last year and carrying over to this year, it's kind of been, if it doesn't align with my values, if I feel like I haven't poured into myself that day, if I don't have the energy, then I'm gonna say no and I'm gonna set boundaries. And I feel like I have been neglecting the boundaries with myself. If I really think about it, it all started in December. With the change of seasons, whenever it starts to get cold, all I want to do is stay in my bed. The lazy girl in me is just taken all over my body. We have all these voices in our head, all of these thoughts telling us, you gotta be productive, you gotta be disciplined. And there's other voices that are like, but we gotta rest, it's good to chill. But certain healthy habits also have their limit. They can also become toxic habits. Like if we rest every single day, that's gonna become toxic because then we're not taking any time to be productive, do the things that we need to do in order to build the life that we want. So boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. So if you're new to all of this stuff like I am, let me give you a little insight. So what I have learned so far is boundaries are super important. I've learned that boundaries are set up to protect our energy, help us stay aligned with our goals, live a life that actually feels good, or we're actually proud of ourselves, or we actually feel confident. Without boundaries, what happens is we tend to feel burnt out, we tend to feel guilty, we tend to feel shame, disappointment, frustration, and trust me, that is not a way to thrive. And y'all know that I like to share facts. I want y'all to believe what I'm saying, okay? I'm not just talking nonsense. This is a study from 2019 that was published in the Journal of Occupational Health. It found that people who set boundaries, like defining their work hours or prioritizing rest, exercise, and times for productivity, are less likely to experience burnout and more likely to feel satisfied with their lives. And that makes sense, right? Because boundaries give us a sense of structure, and when we have a sense of structure, it gives us more energy and less negative thoughts and emotions to enjoy our day and be able to show up as our best selves every single day. A lot of us tend to skip meals, we ignore rest because our priorities are all over the place and we're not having those boundaries with ourselves and respecting that, hey, I need to eat so then I can show up as my best self today, so that I can be in a good mood, so that I can have the energy that I need to enjoy my day. I need to rest so then I can wake up and be able to do the things that I want to do. We think that if we just ignore all of that, that we're somehow gonna feel good. But do you feel good when you do that? No. So the first thing, in order for something to stick for a long time and have consistency with it, you have to have a why. This is gonna be your driving force. Is it your energy? Is it your time? Is it your mental health? For me, it's all of the above. But let's talk about the types of boundaries that you can set with yourself. So you tell yourself, I'm gonna drink more water. I am going to eat better. I'm gonna move my body. Telling this to yourself, or you tell your friends this or family, all of that just gets tossed out the window. A boundary might look like setting a reminder on your phone to remind yourself to hydrate, or to do a quick 15-minute workout or stretch when you wake up. Purpose of that is to help you remember, hey, I made a promise to myself. I want to be better. I want to be healthy. I want to protect my time. I want to protect my energy. I want to protect my mental health. Let me show up for myself. Number 2 is setting boundaries for screen time. Saying, I am not gonna be on my phone after this time. Or you can use apps to track how much time you're spending on your phone and on each app, because trust me, your brain is going to thank you. Boundaries for productivity. This one's a big one. You ever just sit down at your desk to do work and then you end up doing laundry instead? Because this is why is this me every single time? What I have had to do is I now set a timer when I sit down. I use the Pomodoro technique and I make sure that I have a distraction-free area. I don't sit on the couch because I have distractions. I have the TV right in front of me. I have the laundry going. I have food, a big bag. Sit here. I make sure that I have my tea, some instrumental music or some worship music. My phone is on the timer, and I don't go on and scroll on social media. This helps me to stay on track. It helps me stay focused and actually get the work that I need to get done. There's studies on this that if you use time blocking, it helps with your focus and your productivity. So this is when you are setting a chunk of time every single day to do deep work. The Pomodoro technique, which is you set the timer for 25 minutes, you're just doing one task and you're focusing on that. You take a 5 to 10 minute break, set the timer, and then you do 25 minutes on again. And you keep doing that until the 2 hours are done. And boy, that has literally saved my life. Like, I have gotten so much done because of that. Here's a pro tip. Another thing that I have done is if I showed up for myself today, I reward myself afterwards. Either during that week, I will take myself out on a solo date. I'll do a little self-care day, watching your favorite show, whatever it is that makes you relax and is like your leisure time because you showed up for yourself. So balance, you deserve it. Boundaries for emotional well-being. Oh, this one's good too. If you're an overthinker, this one's gonna be a good one for you. Now I am at a place where my thoughts are no longer as negative as they used to be. Whenever I start to feel like I'm overthinking or I am just going down a negative spiral, I intentionally tell myself, stay in the present moment. I share gratitude, or I tell myself, you're doing the best that you can. What can I learn from this? Whenever we have small setbacks in our day, it's easy for us to let that ruin our day and go into overthinking and just feel like we're not good enough. That has allowed me to protect my own peace and just be nicer to myself, show some love for moi. I've also set boundaries with journaling, where I set at least 5 minutes to just brain dump and put all of the thoughts that I have onto paper to allow me to just process my feelings and not project how I'm feeling inside onto them. So now we need action to back up our boundaries. We need a plan. So how do we start setting boundaries? First thing is we need to start small, because this isn't go big or go home, all right? This is start small and stay home. We need to not feel so much pressure going into this, because that's how I felt at first. I'm like,
oh my God, I have all these boundaries I need to set. I have all these changes that I need to make. Where do I start? How do I start?
We're gonna start small. That's manageable. We're gonna start small. Don't worry, we're gonna start small. After this video, you're gonna pick one of those boundaries that I mentioned before, and you are going to stick to it for 1 week. If you have one bad day, that doesn't mean that it's over. Just show up again the next day. It's not the end of the world. Maybe it's the bedtime. Maybe it's limiting screen time. Maybe it's the journaling. Maybe it's prioritizing exercise, drinking water. Pick one of those. The goal here is to make it as clear as possible and make it realistic. I'm gonna prep my breakfast the night before so I can be ready in the morning. First thing that I'm gonna do in the morning is I'm gonna go to the kitchen and I'm gonna drink water. I'm going to leave my workout clothes out the night before, so then in the morning when I wake up, I can already have my clothes set. I don't have to waste time trying to find the fit and then end up not wanting to go because I wasted so much time. Studies show that you actually doing this kind of planning for yourself and setting yourself up for success, it's actually what is gonna make you stick to your goals. Next thing is we're gonna use science to set these boundaries. So what I mean by that is you are going to have a backup. And it talks about this in Atomic Habits. It's called implementation intentions. And this is a way to increase the likelihood of achieving goals by making specific plans for when and where to act. This is gonna be the formula. I will, and then you're gonna put the behavior at this time in this location. For example, I will journal for 2 minutes at 2 p.m. in my kitchen. And then we're also gonna use the if-then strategy. So if I feel the urge to scroll on social media within my boundary where I said I'm not going to go on it after 9 p.m., then I'm going to pick up a book. If I don't feel like eating breakfast and I set the boundary that I'm not skipping meals, then I'm going to grab a protein shake, or I'm going to eat oatmeal, something that's not so heavy. Now you're going to need rituals. Rituals help you to set up your mindset. It helps set up your environment. If you have a boundary, you're gonna start time blocking to get work done. When you sit at your desk, the first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna clear your area. You're gonna make sure that you have your water, your tea, your coffee. You're gonna put your lights on. You're going to have your diffuser. You're going to then set up your instrumental music, okay? Then you're gonna put on your headphones. Then you're gonna make sure to set your timer. Also talks about in the book Atomic Habits, it's signaling your brain from relax mode to focus mode, which then makes it a lot easier for you to actually stick to your boundaries, because now you're like, okay, I was relaxing, I'm not relaxing no more. Now it's time to get to work. Next thing is you're gonna have to get comfortable with the discomfort. It's gonna be uncomfortable. You're changing your routine. There's gonna be a lot of resistance that you're gonna encounter, but you're gonna have to remind yourself of why you are setting these boundaries, okay? It's because you are wanting to create the life that you want. You are wanting to have more energy. You're wanting to protect your mental health. You're gonna have to remind yourself of that, because that's what's gonna keep you moving. That's what's gonna keep you focused, and it's gonna help you stay accountable to these boundaries. What I have realized is when I stick to these boundaries, that's where I feel the most growth. Celebrate your wins. This is a big one. Actually have a habit tracker that I set up right next to my bed, and I am going to have it for every single month. It has helped me with my motivation. There are certain days that I was consistent for 5-6 days, and then there's a gap where I'm not consistent, and then I get back into the groove. So it just helps me to see like the bigger picture and kind of zoom out and see, hey, like that's a win. I was consistent for 6-7 days. It helps me to see that I am making progress. It allows me to give myself grace as well. And it helps remind me what we're aiming for is progress, not perfection. So in conclusion, setting boundaries with yourself is not about being strict or about being controlling. It's actually about showing yourself love and respect. It's about saying, I deserve to rest. I deserve to focus. I deserve to thrive. And when you start to honor your boundaries, y'all, you will start to notice how much better life feels. Let me know down in the comments what is one boundary that you guys are gonna commit to. I'm committing to wake up before 9 a.m. every single morning and get to the gym, move my body in some sort of way, because I have been sleeping in a lot. So we need a boundary there. You know somebody who has been struggling with setting boundaries, make sure to share this video with them, give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, have a blessed day.
Oh my, what a one.